All right, good morning, everybody. We're talking about scouting, a different type of scouting, one that is faith-based. And we're going to talk about that today with a special guest. I'm Jerry O'Lennon, along with Pastor Alfredo Romero of Rock of Life Fellowship. Pastor, you know all about this, so I'm going to let you take the lead and tell us what this is all about.
Yeah, first I'll introduce Mary Wilson. She's a representative now of a group called Trail Life and American Heritage Girls. It's basically a Christian-based scouting program, and I'll let you, Mary, kind of give the reason why it was developed and what's the purpose of it now.
Yeah. So, well, the American Heritage Girls is the Girl Scouting program, and they've been around actually since the 1995. But they've gained popularity in the last few years. And Trail Life is the Boy Scouting program, which started in 2013. It actually was started by Boy Scout, Eagle Scouts, and members of the Boy Scouts of America who just disagreed with some of the changes in policy that were happening, and so they wanted something that would go back to the basics of the traditional scouting program while bringing the faith-based aspect to it.
Yeah, I'll tap on this very lightly because I've known people who went through the Boy Scout program way back in the day, and they're great young men, great family members, but there was a change pretty much around 2015 to 2018, 2020 especially, where the Boy Scouts of America named themselves Scouting America, and it was no longer based on biological sex. It was Boy Scouts for boys, Girl Scouts for girls, and I probably won't elaborate much more than that, but the claim was that they went DEI and woke, and suddenly it wasn't just for boys. And there were traditional families. Matter of fact, the Mormon organization pulled their young men from the scouting program and developed their own scouting program. That sounds like this is what Trail Life and American Heritage Girls is doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's bringing that same scouting aspect that I think is really important for young kids growing up in America while keeping that faith-based, Christ at the center.
Why is it important, Mary, to separate the boys and the girls into different groups?
Yeah, I was an educator for years, and boys and girls, they are just simply different. And the Trail Life really focuses on creating well-rounded, strong young men who are being led by well-rounded, strong men, who are able to teach them about how to be strong and how to provide and how to care for nature. But the girls' troop, they still do build a fire and all those things too, but they're teaching them how to be young women and how to be gentle and kind and pure and all of these things that boys and girls have to learn separately.
Well, one of the things when I was a Boy Scout, and we're going way back, early 70s.
I didn't know you were a Boy Scout.
I was a Boy Scout. I wasn't a very good one. I could never get the merit badges. I couldn't tie the knots, and I didn't understand some of the stuff. But I had fun going on the camping trips and just being with the other boys, hanging out and doing things. And I have to be honest, if there were girls along on those camping trips, it would have taken some of the fun away from it because boys talk about boy stuff and sometimes girls talk about girl stuff. So when the boys would hang out, we were talking about baseball and football and things that guys talk about. And I would imagine the girls, I mean, not that, they weren't sports fans, but at the time, maybe they had different interests. I don't really know, not being a woman, I wouldn't really know. But maybe you could talk about the importance of having, a separate amongst the two.
Yeah, the biggest thing I think is creating a safe place for boys to be boys and learn what that means, and for girls to be girls. And by that I mean, like exactly what you said. There's things that these girls are going through, and each of the leaders, especially, having these safe female leaders at the girls' troop so they feel safe to talk about things that are going on at home or stuff they're struggling with, and a place where boys can talk about themselves without feeling that, awkward social pressure, which a lot of kids do feel right around 8 years old, being, mixing boys and girls can just be.
It's very distracting.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the scouting program, which I believe goes from the ages of
5 to 18.
5 to 18. If I'm a 16-year-old out there and there's girls out there just being up public and up front here, the girls to me would be a distraction. And we're different. That's the way God made us. Before we go much further, I just wanted to say something real quick. Is this available in the Butte County area, the Chico area?
Well, before we started chartering this at Rock of Life, there actually was no program for the girls' troop, American Heritage Girls. I think the closest was Oroville, and that troop had disbanded. So there was really nothing. And for the boys' troop, Trail Life, the closest one is Elk Grove. So I had somebody tell me they were driving 2 hours to try to go to these meetings because they wanted their son to have the scouting program. But there just was not anything local until now.
Yeah, matter of fact, as pastor of Rock of Life Fellowship, we were approached by a representative of American Heritage Girls, and she basically said, I'm looking for basically a sponsor. So just to make this clear, Rock of Life Fellowship here in Chico is now sponsoring and hosting American Heritage Girls, which has quite a number of girls involved. And we're also sponsoring Trail Life, which hopefully we'll be able to get going in September. But I want to make it clear, it is not run by Rock of Life Fellowship. This is not a non-denominational, denominational
You're a meeting.
program.
You're a meeting place.
We're a meeting place.
Okay, and that's good to know.
Yes.
So if you have a different church, it's important to note that, because it's not like the church is trying to, let me just say, it's not trying to poach different church and to get
Exactly.
members. That's not what the point is. It's just it's a meeting place, and it's a good meeting place. It's a nice, clean environment at Rock of Life.
Safe.
Yes, and it's just a good place to attend, and it's a good building, and it's safe, and it's nice, etc. So I think that is important that you mention that.
Yeah, it is. And I'll throw it back to Mary, but one of the reasons that we got involved in the first place was, if you can tell me the person's name, if you don't mind, and how you were approached to start this here in Chico.
Yeah, Jacqueline Lee, actually, who is our troop master, our troop leader for the girls, American Heritage Girl, a homeschool mom who was looking for a scouting program for her daughter, a way to connect with other girls, and just was so disappointed to see that there was nothing in the area. She approached a couple different people and buildings and churches and asked, would you be willing to charter? But a lot of churches just felt, they couldn't take that on. So I found her through a homeschool group on Facebook, and she connected with us, and we decided, this is something the community needs. And so we host it. We are the charter organization, and so the troop falls under Rock of Life, but it is not Rock of Life's troop. It is an American Heritage Girls troop.
Yeah, that's not a Rock of Life program. This is a nationwide program.
Yes.
Matter of fact, real quick, I also saw on July 4th parade, the American Heritage Girls members, they were participating.
Yes, we marched in the Chico's 4th of July parade and got to represent our troop and earn a badge that way, too.
Did that bring any extra, interest in, because that's the whole idea, is you go into these parades, hopefully the people will see this and say, I want to be a part of that.
I think it was a good way to show the community who we are. The biggest thing is I don't think people know that these programs even exist. So yeah, and it was cool to be a part of our community anyway.
Yeah, the program focuses on life skills, and this is for the women. And again, this is between 5 and 18.
Yes.
Learning to cook, sew. Okay, that's going to turn some people off. Well, those are just
Hang
women's
on,
things.
hang on.
There's more to it. Learning to cook and sew, which, by the way, young men should learn to do as well.
Yes.
And the Boy Scouts do teach that as well
Yes,
for
they
them. Hike, camp, learning to survive in nature, manage money, learning about hiking and camping, just like the boys.
Yes.
So really,
It's quite equal.
yeah, so I mean, because I remember when I was in the Boy Scouts, and I don't think I got past tenderfoot. I think I got maybe second class or something. I was terrible, but I remember, you had to learn how to sew, you had to learn how to cook, you have to learn how to do all those things. So it's not just a boy-girl kind of thing. It's just who you hang out with is what it sounds like.
Yes.
You're still learning the same type of skills.
Yes, yeah, and both programs really focus on survival skills. Last year the girls earned a fire building badge, so the older girls actually built their own campfire by the end, and the younger girls got to learn about fire safety, and so they get to do, the girls do the same outdoor stuff. I did Girl Scouts for years, and so I know it's very similar in that way. But it's about who they get to fellowship with, and especially because we do have a lot of homeschool families that bring their kids to these programs, and they get to socialize with girls their age or boys their age,
Yeah, real quick, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Mary Wilson, who's a representative of a program, a nationwide program, Trail Life for the boys. It's a scouting program, alternative to Scouting of America. And also American Heritage Girls is for the women. It's a separate scouting program, with Christian traditional values. But I also want to say this is open to the whole community, and obviously it's Christian based. Can you tell me some of the Christian values that are actually taught or talked about during this program?
Yeah, so the Trail Life program focuses on four main statements of values. So purity, living a life of holiness, and service. So being able to be a responsible member of the community.
Yeah.
Stewardship, basically stewarding the gifts that God's given you, money, even time, and integrity. So calling boys to be moral, and those are the main values. And then American Heritage Girls, their focus is being compassionate, helpful, honest, loyal, perseverant, pure, resourceful, respectful, responsible, and reverent. And those actually are values that we talk about throughout the whole year. So there is my new position is moving into the shepherd, and so we'll do a devotional before we start every troop session. Before we earn badges, we bring it back to those core values and the message of Christ.
Now, we want to make sure, before we go to the break, we'll be sure to give you contact information. And on our podcast, we will have the contact information on the screen. So if you want to reach them to learn more about it, maybe be a participant. But you have about a little more than a dozen members in the girls program.
Yes.
And we have about less than a minute left. Tell us about how that's going.
It's been wonderful. We've been going for 2 years, and we have girls from all over the community. It's not just our church. And the older girls, we have some girls who are graduating into that preteen age this year. And so we're opening up to that age more. And so that's been really awesome to see them go through the younger program and now graduating.
Yeah, and for the radio listeners, as we go to a break, let us know how, for those who are listening on the radio, how could they contact you to find out more and maybe sign up?
Yeah, so Rock of Life, you can always call our phone 530-588-4700.
588-4700.
Yes, or email at rockoflifechico@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay, so just you can contact the church, and they will put you in touch with the people. We are going to step aside. We're talking to Mary Wilson, a Christian-based scouting program called American Heritage Girls, also one for the boys as well. We have one more segment. We'll continue our discussion with Mary right after this break.
Hey, welcome back to Rebel Religion in the News. Today we have a really good topic discussion. We're actually talking to a representative of a scouting program that's developing right here in the Butte County area. It's called American Heritage Girls. It is a scouting Christian-based program, nationwide program for young women, ages 5 to 18. And they're developing a new program called Trail Life, which is a nationwide program. And we're trying to get it going here in the Butte County, Chico area. Now, this is what I want to talk about real quick, Mary. Trail Life, American Heritage Girls is going right now, and it's been going for a couple of years. A church, Rock of Life Fellowship, is just the host. They're not the runners of it. Mm-hmm. They're just the host building. But Trail Life hasn't started yet. Can you give me some idea of what's going on, how's it going, and what challenges you may have starting the boys' version of it?
Absolutely. One of the things that our heart is to create this program for the boys because American Heritage Girls has been so successful and so helpful to some of these girls who are growing and gone through some really hard stuff this last couple of years. So I was approached by a parent who said, hey, would your church be willing to look into Trail Life? And so, yes, absolutely. As of right now, we are building our board. And I think the biggest thing is finding volunteers, because it's one thing I've found that a lot of moms were willing to jump in at American Heritage Girls, but to find strong Christian men who are willing to jump in and become leaders, that is our biggest thing right now, is gathering those people.
And it's been a little difficult.
It is. It has been. And I find we want to work with the dads who would be doing this. So we will be creating a time that works for, most of these men are working dads and they have jobs and they're tired at the end of the day. So finding a time that works for them. But we really need good, strong volunteers.
It's a wonderful program. There are some, it seems to me, there's potential roadblocks given some of the things that we've touched on now. And then there's that cultural shift that has caused the scouting, the traditional Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts to kind of deviate from what their original mission was, it seems.
True.
But that also affects, if that cultural shift, I'm wondering if that affects some of the interest in your program and how you deal with that. And secondly, the idea, and because getting out and doing things, kids nowadays, they're on their phones. They're talking on, I don't even know what they talk on nowadays. It used to be Facebook, but I guess that's for old people. But they're doing all kind. They're so distracted. The idea of actually getting outside and having fun and doing things, I'm wondering if maybe there's a benefit to that aspect of it, because it's like we're doing things, we're having fun, we're out being active. I'm wondering if that is kind of a way for you to try to encourage people to take part.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that is so important as you see some of these girls go from the lower age, 5, 6, 7, and as they've gotten older, this program teaches them responsibility. So they start to do more badge work on their own and doing more, but it actually gets them face to face with each other, right? So kids are able to socialize, and they don't have phones out when you're at the scouting program. And I think a lot of people who have had, meet anybody who was a Boy Scout at one point in their life, most men they talk about it with such excitement, such good memories, and that's what we aim to create with these programs, is that same feeling of nostalgia that people feel looking back on their scouting programs in that Christian environment.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was going to say, because the one thing that I found, and it's hard to tap dance around the subject, but basically one of the reasons why these programs were created is because Boy Scouts of America, which is now, I believe, Scouting America, they did fairly. I was reading an article. They have tried to back away from some of what people would call DEI or woke. They did disband their DEI program, but they still kept it Scouting of America open to different males and females. So that was one of the reasons why this was created. And here's my point. There are a lot of people out there that still want traditional Christian values in their program, and people have the freedom to join or not join. So now there's a couple of options for you. If people wanted to join something that was more, I would just say worldly, secular, thank you. You can join Scouting America, but if you're out there and you're a believer in Christ, and you just want traditional Christian values, because a lot of people will put their children into this program, and they're not exactly what I would call believers.
It's interesting. The traditional scouting used to include God. Used to be,
yes.
God and country. I mean, I remember God was part of it, being reverent.
Yes.
And that was just sort of removed.
Yeah. Also, I have attended a couple of the ceremonies for American Heritage Girls. Can you walk us through that program? Like, I thought it was awesome. They carry the scouting flag, the American flag, the Christian flag. Would you kind of explain how that program goes?
Yeah, so they do their flag ceremony. The girls are taught about the reverence of the flag, and they are taught how to bring it down, and they have their color guard and the calls, and that's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Something I think that is lost on a lot of kids nowadays, is that serving your country and that reverence. And then they have their oath and their creed that they say. So very similar to a lot of other scouting programs in that. And I was going to just touch back on the fact that this isn't just for people who are unhappy with other scouting programs. This is just also another option, just like you said, for people who are looking for a way to teach their kids more about Christ and who he is.
Yeah, go ahead. Once again, if you're interested, the number is 530-588-4700. 588-4700.
And you can simply Google, which is basically the new, I guess, white pages of our society. Just Google and Rock of Life Fellowship, get the number and make a contact that way to learn more about it and to maybe join. I guess I want to emphasize, especially Mary, is just the fun that's involved. I mean, going out, it's so important to get outside and, and do things and go on camping trips. I mean, camping trips are some of the funnest things. That's what I enjoyed most about when I was doing the scouting. We get to go on a camping trip. We have fires. We we sing songs, you know.
Tie knots.
Yeah, we play. I don't know if you remember. I mean, I'm really dating, but I used to play a thing called Steal the Bacon. You remember that game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you still play. Yeah, you'd put something out there like a bone or something, and you're trying to get it, and so nobody catches you ahead of time. I mean, all those kind of games and the songs that we used to sing "Kumbaya," which again is a Christian song. But I mean, obviously, that apparently probably doesn't happen in scouting now. But that's the kind of thing that I think young people would really gravitate to, and really create good young men and women. And of course, we're speaking particularly about women. You know, I'm just rooting for you. I just hope it takes off and it makes a difference.
I hope so. Mary, are there any meetings coming up for the listeners out there or the viewers that, if they're interested, if you have children and you're interested in either getting involved as a leader or as just a participant, is there any meetings coming up?
Yes. So thank you. So actually, for Trail Life, we have a meeting coming up this following Sunday, the 19th. It's going to be at 1 o'clock at Rock of Life, so 2555 Dominic Drive. And we'll be meeting, discussing the program, what it's about, and just a time for information gathering if people are interested in volunteering or just having their children in the program. And then we also have an informational night coming up on the 23rd, same place at Rock of Life Fellowship. That's going to be at 6 p.m., and that'll be for the American Heritage Girls. So we do have meetings coming up in the next week for both programs, and
Yeah.
it's a good place to gather information.
And if you're a parent or a grandparent, would you mind repeating that one more time? Tell your kids about this, because it's very important that this be successful, especially for Trail Life, because we haven't have all the pieces together yet. We're still looking for volunteer men to be leaders, helpers, assistants, and a trail master.
I want to make sure Trail Life is for women, though, right?
Boys.
Trail Life is for the
For
boys.
Trail Life is for the boys. So
5 to 18, 5 to
we
18.
need more men involved in it. Okay.
Yes.
But what were the meetings again?
The meeting for Trail Life USA, which is the Boys Scouting program, is the 19th at 1 p.m. at Rock of Life Fellowship, so 2555 Dominic Drive. And the meeting for American Heritage Girls, our Girl Scouting program, will be the 23rd at Rock of Life at 6 p.m.
Yeah, and once again, I just want to mention this is not a Rock of Life program. This is a nationwide program that the church Rock of Life Fellowship is just hosting. They're using our building, and we make sure they're safe and protected while they're meeting at the church. It sounds good.
Yes.
Well, what else can we do with this? Because the main thing I wanted to focus is on the differences and why this was created. Christian-based values, safe environment, traditional values. Amen?
Yeah, exactly. And fun.
Yes, fun.
Yes.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. You have 1 minute left. What kind of an expense would a parent
Good point.
incur if they brought their child into this program?
Yeah, so the girls and boys would both need their uniforms, so there is a fee for that and a membership fee. But you know, that's about $60 for that portion. And then of course there's troop dues, which you know is important. They learn about taking care of the building that we're in, and that's how they pay for their events and whatnot. And that's $12 a month for the girls, and that'll get established for the boys.
Very affordable.
But yeah, it's affordable, and we also are willing to do lots of fundraisers, so that helps the girls out, and we're willing to help people with scholarships if they need it.
All right. We have been talking with Mary Wilson of American Heritage Girls. It's a new scouting organization. There's also a one for the boys as well. Did I have that right? Like American
Yes,
Heritage
American
Girls.
Heritage.
And the boys is called again?
Trail Life USA.
Trail Life USA. And to find out more, check out Rock of Life Fellowship. You could go to their website. You could give them a call as well. Unfortunately, the music means we're out of time. Mary, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. So long.
Bless you.